episode 2 of the comparison for international students that want to study abroad. So this is the episode 2 of what we've been discussing. Today we're going to be talking about the educational system in these countries. The truth is the educational system is almost the same thing across board. But from what my friend said, in US, the educational system is more lenient. They can like shift things here and there and accommodate some of your other activities, or if you have something else to do. There is also some of those shiftings as well in Canada, but Canada educational system is more tough. You have to study, you have to be a serious student, like you invest in yourself. UK, the same thing. Australia, the same thing. You have to study. It's not where you come and play. You have to study well. So educational system is serious, but then there are cases you may have excuses and some things may change, but just know that it is not a joke. You have to study. You have to study. You put in effort. Then being friendly, most people in Canada are quite friendly. They are so friendly. Like the first few weeks of my coming into Canada, I was like, are you for real? Like someone will open door and you are far. The person will be waiting for you to pass so that they can close the door and move. So they are that nice. And even in buses, people come down, they tell you thank you. Bus drivers, like everybody that comes down from the bus, they tell the bus driver thank you. It was rare to me. So, and you just my friend was like, in US, nothing like that happens. Nothing like that happens in US. The bus system in UK and US. We didn't talk about anything about saying thank you or not, but this is just like an aspect of me saying that people in Canada are quite friendly. Someone also said that UK, they are friendly. Then Australia, they are very friendly as well. They are quite friendly in Australia. And when we talk about school fees in Canada is as it is. There is whatever the school fees is, you will pay it. If you're doing a 2-year course and you finish that 2-year course in 1 year, you will pay the outstanding to 1 year fee that is remaining. So even if you do a fast track and finish your 2 years masters in 1 year, you will pay the outstanding fee for that year you didn't go to school. So you just have that at the back of your mind that the time you finish your school is not going to change the amount you're going to pay. And if you have extra year, you will pay for the extra year. So just have that at the back of your mind. But in US, one thing in US is that you pay per course. So if you take 2 courses, the amount that is meant for that 2 courses is what you will pay. If you take 6 courses, the amount that is meant for that 6 courses, that's what you will pay. So that will help you. Like if you don't have so much money, you can decide to take 2 courses. If you have much money, you can take 3, 4 courses. So you just take your courses according to the amount you have per time. So that's like how flexible US school fees is. Then in UK, you can divide your school fees into parts and be paying in parts. Some school allow you up to 9 divisions so that you just divide it into 9 places and pay. You can also divide your school fees in Australia and pay, but they are not that. The school will tell you, say that you're paying 3 times or you're paying twice, or if there is any arrangement extra, you will have to agree to that. In Canada as well, I have seen where there are modifications, like you can divide your school fees and pay it in bits as well, but you must finish paying that school fees before the deadline, because they give deadline for fee payment. If you don't meet up with that deadline, they will surcharge you. They will add an extra percentage to that one that you've not paid, and you will pay that extra. So for school fees, I would say somehow US is more lenient with their school fees payment, and UK is also lenient with their school fees payment more than Canada and Australia. Then we talk about traveling with family. When you talk about traveling with family, I would say Canada is the best place to travel with your family because your dependents, provided they are up to the age of 18, they are allowed to work. So just like your spouse is allowed to work, they get a work permit, they work, they're able to support you while you go to school. or even if you are able to come in with your parents, probably to look after your kids while you go to school, they are also allowed to work. So traveling with family, Canada has a way of helping you. UK also have the same system as well in helping you travel with your family. They have a work permit to work. And the same thing with Australia, they have work permit to work. But US, your dependents do not have work permit to work, and nobody encourages you to go to US and start doing something illegal. So you need to know this, that if you are traveling to US with your family, your dependents, that's your spouse, is not allowed to work. Then children going to school in Canada is free, is also free in UK, is also free in Australia, but in US, nobody has been able to say anything about you traveling with your dependent children, whether they're paying school fees or not. My friend didn't go, so he wasn't sure of that. Per time, once he finds out anything about that, I will bring that to you too. Then life after school is predictable in Canada. If you didn't disobey any rule, you didn't do anything illegal, you are allowed to get your post-graduation work permit, and that is dependent on the number of years you went to school. If you did a 1-year course or an 8-month course, you just get a 1-year post-graduation work permit, and after that 1 year, you can apply for your PR. Then if you did a 2-year course or 3-year or 4 years course, you will get a 3-year post-graduation work permit. And after 1 year of that post-graduation work permit, you can file for your PR using the Canada Experience class, or you just wait and if you get a provincial nomination, you file for your PR. But in US, what is expected is you get optional practical training. If you did a STEM course, you get 3 years. Then non-STEM courses, you get 2 years. I know you're wondering what is STEM course. A STEM course is a science, technology, engineering, mathematics. So if you did any of the courses in this area, you will get a 3 years optional practical training when you graduate in the US. But if you didn't do any course in this area, you get a 2 years when you graduate. So within these 2 years, you can get sponsorship from companies you're working with or firms to file for you for your green card. But if you don't get, then you look for other legal means to remain in the US. But in Canada, it's pretty straightforward. In Australia, they have a similar thing with Canada. So it's pretty straightforward. Your post-graduation work permit, depending on the number of years you went to school, and you file for your PR afterwards. Then UK, you get your sponsorship when you graduate from companies. People in UK say it's easy to get sponsorship when you have schooled in the UK. So that helps you. Then access to African food. In Canada, there are African grocery stores. So you can always get whatever kind of African food you want. Like in my province, there is an African store that you can call them and they even deliver to your house. So I know at least two in my province. Then other provinces also they have. Then in US, they also have African stores. In UK, they have African stores. In Australia, they have African stores. So that should not be something you should worry yourself about. There are African stores everywhere in these countries that you can get African food and what you want. So I hope this helps you. And until the next episode, this is it for today. Thank you.